Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade and today I am doing a spoiler review of Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Whew, this book, you guys, I really enjoyed it. If you want to know kind of what's it about, I did a non-spoiler review, but I'll just do like a quick little explanation. So this book is about Laszlo Strange, who is an orphan who's been raised in the monastery, and then he goes to a library one day to deliver something, and he decides to not go back to the library or to the monastery, and he becomes a librarian. He has dedicated his whole life to learning about this lost city called Weep. About 200 years ago, the city disappeared or like completely cut off contact, and no one is able to reach it, as there's all kinds of like monsters in the desert and things, and people who go never come back. So he's the only person who's actually interested in Weep and does everything he can to learn about it. There's also a second perspective in this book of a girl who, now I'm going to get to the spoiler part because this is the fun part. So the second perspective is of this girl who is half god. She is a demigod basically, but you don't really know if they are gods. So the issue that Weep has is that 200 years ago they had these godlike beings that came down to like their city and like made a giant castle above their city, and these gods weren't good though. They kidnapped people and used them and then returned them back pregnant, or like never brought them back, and like they just were really awful people, and they loved like messing with the mortals, and they had a lot of children called Godspawn. In this book, one of the characters, I don't think he has a perspective ever, but he is an important character in the book. He was the one who actually killed all 6 of the gods, like he murdered them, and then all the people who he brought with him to do it killed all of the babies that were there. There were no children there, there were only babies. The children were brought somewhere else, and you don't really know what happened there. So the perspective of the girl is actually a Godspawn, because little does anyone know, a couple of them actually hid and survived, and they've been living secretly above the city. The problem the city has, I don't really want to give like that away, like I don't want to give it all away, I just wanted to explain like the second perspective. So if anyone ever found out they were there, they would be killed because people are so afraid of the gods and there's so much hatred and resentment built up to them. So that's her perspective, which I really liked because it brought like the other side of the story. Like, she doesn't want to die, she doesn't deserve to die, she's never done anything bad, but because of who her parents were and what she is, the mortals would kill her if they ever saw her. And then Laszlo is like this super idealistic guy, but he slowly uncovers that these horrible things happened, and he tries to he understands why they happened, but he also knows why they were wrong and that they shouldn't be repeated. So I really liked his perspective a lot too, and then a lot of people who participated really regretted it, but they also knew that it was important and that they had to do it because they couldn't let these Godspawn take control again, because the Godspawn also have powers much like the gods. What I really loved about this book was the romantic aspect. It was such a beautiful romance. I mean, in my opinion, it's slow burning, but in reality it's not, because I think it only took place over a couple of days. But it turned, when you find out what them, like, the characters, the Godspawn's power is, it's really amazing, and especially because Laszlo is a dreamer, they like just fit together so well, and he learns so much from her and she learns so much from him about the world as a whole and like what they're missing almost. And they both want to find a way to like she wants to be able to live as a human, but she doesn't want to be like killed. And all of like this other plot's going on where they're trying to fix this giant problem that the city has because of the gods that involve the home that she's living in. So of course they're going to come up to her home and she can't be discovered, and there's just like the plot, like intertwines so beautifully, and the characters are so interesting, and like what they do is so like it's interesting to see how people respond to things, and like people regret things but they know it needs to be done, or like it's just so amazing. And I really love this book. The world building was spectacular. I've never read a book with such amazing world building. Where they live is just so beautiful, even though there's like a major issue that's going on for that world. It's still amazing. And I just really loved the characters. Just everything about this book was amazing. I think everyone needs to read it and learn more about it. I really loved learning about the gods' different powers because they're very unique, and you kind of learn how messed up the gods were, but their lives were so interesting. The small like tidbits you get, like what they wore was really cool, and like just their powers, it was all very interesting. And I think you guys should read it. So if it sounds interesting, or if you have read it, you should let me know in those comments down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you all so very much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.